Welcome to Super Seller Sunday. Today we're going to be joining with Callie, who is a person of interest that I found, it's been about a month ago, and her and I have had conversations back and forth, just kind of learning a little bit about each other, and Callie was a little bit stuck. And so just wanted to have an interview with her so that she could share her story and maybe help some of you guys who feel a little bit stuck also. Welcome, Callie. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks
Good.
for having me.
You're welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I live in Rockford, Michigan. I have a 2-year-old son. I'm currently pregnant again. So I'm also a stay-at-home mom, but I also resold like while working full-time and taking care of a 2-year-old for a little while until I got to jumpstart into fully stay-at-home mom life. So that was cool. That's pretty much it right now. Just
What did
learning as I go.
what did you do before you sold?
I was auditing insurance, healthcare.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's why you're so detail oriented. Okay, just a little bit back of a backstory. Her and I, we talked back and forth here and there, and you've become, somebody who I can really look to for ideas and support and to become a really good friend. Do you want to talk about, maybe what some of your frustrations were before we, started talking and getting to know each other a little bit better?
Yeah. So anytime my business name is Thriving from Scratch because I literally never know what I'm doing and I just like going with the flow and figuring out along the way. I always try to research anytime I have a problem. I go on the internet, try to figure out who else is going through this. And then I stumbled upon this group because I was having issues with my views dropping, which is something that a lot of people right now are having. I just stumbled upon a couple threads reading along, and then someone had mentioned how awesome you were, and I was like, you know what, it doesn't hurt to just ask. So I just messaged you and was like, hey, I have no idea what I'm doing, can you just take a look at my commerce page? If you don't have time, it's totally fine. Like, I didn't know what kind of situation you had in your life, and you were like, no big deal, like, let me look. And then we talked, and I was like telling my husband after, I was like, you wouldn't believe this woman, she talked to me and she helped me out. And I was like freaking out. I was like, she's so cool. And yeah, it was really awesome. You helped me so much. And my views got increasingly better. I started selling like crazy. And all your advice helped out a lot. I'm very
That's awesome. I didn't know some of that stuff, so thank you. My recollection of it was that you texted me and asked for some help, and we looked at your commerce page, and that you had said that you were selling really good, and then all of a sudden you just died, right?
Yeah.
And so we got looking at a few things, and back, I would say back in the day, but it's not back in the day. It's back a few months ago before everybody hopped onto this platform and decided they wanted to sell with everybody else. Everything sold no matter what. It didn't matter like what you said, what you did, you put it on, it sold, done. And now we're having to be a little bit more narrowed down and figuring out like, what are the keywords? What are the things that we have to do to make our stuff sell? Do you want to just kind of go into that?
Yeah, definitely my titles. So I sell a lot of clothes, and I used to say like women's shirt, women's top, women's jeans. That was it for my title. So I started switching that up, do the brand name first, get like kind of description of what it is, the size, and have like everything in the title. Because when I first started off, I was listing like Harley Davidson shirts, and I was getting flagged like mad, and they were like, you can't post like that, you can't say the brand name, and so I wasn't doing that. And then after talking to you, this was like maybe even 6 months after that occurrence, and now they want brand name. So okay, so we're doing brand name now.
Yeah, so some things are actually what they call Vero, or there's a list, and we don't know where the Facebook list is. It maybe is there somewhere. If someone knows where that list is, please share it. So we kind of have to go off of, like what eBay would say is a Vero product. A Vero product is something that the manufacturer said, no, this is a protected brand. Only we can sell this, or we can say who can sell this. Some things may have not worked in the past that are working now. If Harley works for some people and not another, you just put in a request. And even if that doesn't work and they still say no, and you know for a fact that that's wrong, you go back in and you use the magic form and get it reviewed again. And a lot of times that does work. But there's some brands, don't be afraid to put the brand name in. And then if they tell you no, you can challenge it. And if they still tell you no, you say, okay, fine. move on, figure out a different way to list it.
I even had like Gossip Girl books that wouldn't that flagged because the photo on the front cover. And it was like wasn't even that racy or anything, but they were like, no, you can't do the girls or something like. But I know that they have that stuff there to protect. They're trying to, prevent scamming and all that. There's a reason.
Yeah. You stepped outside your box and even figured out how to do like bulk sales. And do you like to share that?
Yeah, so I like to sell jewelry, and when you get a chunk of jewelry from someone, like you have so many pieces, and I would post like one piece at a time, and honestly, like one piece was not selling for me. Like every once in a while, a really nice necklace would sell. I had so much left over in my garage. I'm like, what am I gonna do with all this? And then I just decided to do some grab bags, and you can't call it mystery bags because they'll flag that. So I just started doing grab bags for all that. And it went like crazy. I mean, I've sold out like 3 times, had to get more stuff. And like, I have a hard time keeping that one like on the shelf. But now I'm noticing there's more people doing it because I see it pop up and they're doing the same amount of ounces and the same amount. And I'm like, are they copying or is that like just it's happening?
Of course they're copying you.
Because they see it. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
But you're the godmother of it.
Yeah, have to change my pictures up and maybe do it because I had so many views, like probably 3,000 plus whatever views on this one, probably even more now. But I'm like, do I just change it up and do something different to be different from everyone else? Add another different grab bag, maybe a different poundage or ounce and a different price, have different photos, just to kind of make sure I'm staying away from being like everyone else to keep yourself.
I always go back to my mom. She's a top Etsy seller and she sells tons of fabric and patterns. And what you're talking about right now is exactly what she does. She'll say, okay, this is a 6-pack. Let's try a 12-pack. Let's try a 24-pack. Let's see if that will work. And, and she has top sellers and stuff in her 6-packs and her 12-packs, and she just tries it.
That's true. A lot of people now are asking for specific bags. Like they want me to personalize a grab bag for them. And so that's the thing I might start doing is start getting personalized and like vintage only or new only or a certain color because people are wanting that. And even though it's like grab bag, mystery bag, like you get what you get, but they're like, no. Like I want that one out of this one out of this one. I'm like, yeah. All right, like that's gonna take me forever to sit and talk to you about that. And then if you don't buy it, like then I spent all that time with you, and that happens a lot. People will just be like, I need all these photos, I need all this information, and then they just don't even buy it.
But they want all these measurements and they want all these things, and then you do it, and then they're like, oh, that's not going to work for me. And to me, a lot of times, and that's like with clothes or stuff that I didn't put on there, it's a good opportunity for me to add it to the listing and make it available for somebody else who may have wanted it. Because I always think if one person wants it, there's other people out there that do.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, just constantly changing in your mind. Like when you're doing grab bags or anything like that, just try to think of what comes next, how to continue rolling with it. I think another seller talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Do you have a mannequin? I can see that behind you. Is that how you usually take all your photos, is just with the mannequin, or do you have other ways of doing it?
Women's clothing, I really don't sell men's clothing that much, but women's clothing I always post on the mannequin. Kids clothing I'll put on a table just because it won't fit. It won't look right. Even my jewelry I'll put on the mannequin if I sell like a really nice piece.
Are you doing a lot of local pickup or more shipping?
It varies. It just depends on the week. Sometimes it's all local. Sometimes it's all shipping. It's fun though. I like both. I don't mind. We have like a Ring doorbell, so it monitors when someone comes up to the front door, and I can look anywhere on my phone, talk to the person if they need me to. And I really like that aspect of having some sort of virtual doorbell, so I don't feel like I have to monitor my front porch all the time. I can walk away, do my family stuff. We can go out to dinner, and if someone's picking up something and has a question, I'm like, what do you need? Well, okay, it's right there. And then continue.
Breaker 19, we have someone at the door.
Yeah, that's my cat Waldo. He won't bite you.
That's a good one. Was there anything else you think that the people on our group would love to hear from you?
I really like trying to recycle and reuse. So I try to be sustainable. So not only, the reason that I think I thrift is because I don't want that stuff going in the trash. That was my main passion for a long time, was I will go on the side of the road, find a kid's toy that's a little beat up, wash it up, put it on and post it, get it for $5. So now that toy gets to be used by someone else instead of going to the landfill. And I just like want more kids to shop on Marketplace, want more people to shop on local, group sites like a buy nothing site, share your things so that we're not throwing away stuff all the time and being so wasteful. So with shipping, that can be one of the things that can be wasteful is bubble wrap and shipping bubble mailers and boxes. But there are so many people out there that recycle and they will save that for you. So I have a buy nothing group. I reach out to them and say, hey, I need more bubble mailers, and people will give them to me. I don't have to buy my bubble mailers. I don't have to.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't
all
know
that stuff is free. And people they'll move. They move their stuff. They have extra boxes. You can take their boxes. You don't have to go buy boxes. Although I know that the post office gives you free boxes, but again, you can reuse those boxes. Keep the ones you get in the mail and all that stuff. But tape, I do have to buy that. I get that in bulk online. And then I don't have a shipping printer. I just use my printer. I get ink off of Amazon for $15, and it's a set of 3-pack of each color. So there's a lot of ink. Then I use those little stickers that come on a 2-piece sheet and send it through and then flip it over and send it back through. Because I just haven't personally wanted to invest in a shipping label printer yet because they're $100.
Yeah, they're expensive. They are.
I don't need
the stickers that go in them are expensive too. So
yeah. So that way, I think Amazon, I get $7 and I get 300 sheets of shipping labels. I haven't been through that one yet, but I know some people ship out mad, and that printer is probably their lifeline, having that thing print off. So I'm organized enough right now, but definitely would say that I learned is to always double check. Because when I first was shipping out with eBay, that was the first thing I ever did was ship out precious moments. I accidentally gave people the wrong thing or sent one person 2 things. So that's one thing
I've done that too.
Always double, triple check every single label with every item before it goes out the door. Even if I have a 2-year-old screaming at me, I'm just a moment, and I'm checking. I cannot mess up this. They'll lose $5, you'll lose $10, and then that's all your time gone.
So do you feel like you have been able to replace an income that you would have had otherwise at an outside job?
I don't know if I would say fully that, but enough to pay for groceries, enough to pay for stuff that my son and I can do without having to, I don't spend any of our house money on the stuff that I want to do. So I love to shop. I love to bring Liam out to go do fun things. We just don't, I'm just always use my side business money to get my coffee, to get everything that I want in a day. Because we're also trying to get out of debt too.
That's perfect. Yeah, it's a huge contribution to be able to do that because it's all stuff that you would have spent otherwise or not been able to do.
Another thing is if you need to buy a new something, sell your old something. Even if it's broken, someone will use it for parts. That happened with our dishwasher. It was broken. Someone bought it for $150, and then we got to put that into our new dishwasher fund to replace it. Any of that. People will buy anything. Literally.
That's really, really good. You said you made a group.
I didn't make it, but I joined one. We have a buy nothing for our city. And so a lot of cities have this buy nothing group. And it's a huge community of probably a couple thousand people. And if you don't want anything anymore, you post it on there. If you need something, you ask, you pretty much get whatever you need. There's families that lose their homes and people just give them all their clothes and food that they need and help them out. And I just need small stuff here and there. I can help out those families too.
So I guess if you don't have a buy nothing group in your community,
make one.
You could always make one. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's us. We're just we're the engineers of starting everything over here.
Yeah.
And the thing, we have so many amazing people on our group that love to do exactly like we do. And for those of you who, if I haven't stated it enough, Callie is so organized. I ask her something and she sends me a list. And I thought, you're amazing. How do I?
It's taken me a long time. My husband is OCD up the 9. And when I first started this, I dove in so hard and so fast. And it got overwhelming. My garage got full. My upstairs craft room got ridiculous. My living room started getting bad. And he's like, what is this? You can't do this anymore. And I was like, it's my passion. You can't stop me. And then I had to figure out how to do this in one space. So he built me a craft corner because I do like to craft. So I have my Cricut over there and my yarn and whatever. But my garage, it's always a work in progress, but you got to start small. If you want to to do this, don't go head over heels. Start with your own stuff in your house. Ask family if they're giving something to Goodwill and start off small. And then as you get money, then you can start buying things. Don't just buy with the money in your pocket that you're trying to save for something else. Like, don't go into debt to do reselling. That's silly.
That's actually one of the things that I loved that you told me a couple of weeks ago, was that you tell family and friends and stuff if they don't want something to bring it over, and you'll sell it. Do you sell it and give them some of the proceeds, or how does that
Not
work?
always. Like my neighbor, she's 94 and she has a bunch of stuff she doesn't want. And she always complains that her house is always too full. So I go over there once a week and post some stuff. And she I do 10%. I don't even want money from her, but she's like, no, I have to give you something. So she takes 10, or I take 10% from her, and she's so grateful of that, and I love to help her. But then I have other family, like my mom or some of the other women that I'm friends with off Facebook, that they just don't want the leftover stuff. To them, it's overwhelming. Think about I get that too, where I have just too much stuff and I don't need it. So I either post to the Buy Nothing site, or I end up donating it to a local area to get some tax write-off or whatever. But yeah, they just don't want it. But to me, a new thing is almost easier to sell than something old that's been sitting in my garage for 2 months. I see more passion in something that I'm ooh, new, I can sell this.
You're such a wonderful person. I'm really grateful that I know you and that you're my friend. I think that it's so important for all of us to create little niches of support groups. We have our group, our Facebook Marketplace for Sellers Only group, and it just keeps growing. But it's also good to find a few friends on the group that you can communicate with back and forth and text each other, and just keep motivating. You're one of my motivators to keep going.
Me too. I love the 5 a day. I'm I gotta do my 5, It helps a lot.
It does help. And we're almost done with the month. It's crazy.
We gotta do
next month.
Yeah, keep rolling, keep hustling.
You might have to separate that out and make that its own thing or something.
Yeah, and then people who are new too, don't give up, because it took me at least 1.5 years to be where I am now. The people who sell and make buku dollars and it's crazy, I'm sure that didn't happen overnight. And even whatever you do this month is how it will reflect your next month. So if you don't work hard and don't post a lot right now, you won't see it next month, and then don't be upset if that doesn't happen. But if you work really hard and you don't see it tomorrow, you're gonna see it next month and be like, wow, what happened? So
you're right. It does seem like stuff has to gel. Yeah. I mean, sometimes stuff, it's at 0 views, just get rid of it for now, put it back on later, let it get a little bit of traction. Because we worry about well, what if it got shadow banned? And we can't 100% tell, but it will help our ratios. You're absolutely right, though. What you do today will reflect what happens tomorrow. It's 100% correct.
Yeah. Just the people that watch you and follow you. If you're consistent and you keep posting, people who like you and follow your marketplace, you'll get more of those people, and those kind of start following you. And all of a sudden you'll be like, wow, all these people, where'd they come from? That happened to me too. I was like, you actually like me? You follow me? Why?
Why are you following me? That's what Kelly was saying too a couple of weeks ago when she did Super Seller for Sunday. She was 100% exactly the same. I get a ton of followers because they like my style, they like who what I do, and it seems like it works. That's so awesome.
And being nice goes a long way. In the group later, when you're with your friends, you can be like, this guy, and I'll be like, to my husband, I'm about to be with this person right now, but I'm just like, yep, whatever you need, I got you. Okay. And then my husband's like, why do you do this? If you don't, I'm like, no, it's just I have to vent. Okay, I love this. This is fun.
Right. Well, thank you for everything. I won't make you stay. I know you got babies that are asleep, and I just appreciate everything that you do for our group, and always pitching in and saying such amazing things and comment.
Oh, thank you. It's nice talking with you today.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.